I think it's what our Board of Trustees wants us to work together to achieve. Over 2 years ago, in their UK Purpose strategic plan that they endorsed unanimously, they asked us to start looking at our governing regulations, how we work together to move this university forward. After their most recent retreat, they certainly saw an urgency and our need to better align what we do at a little quicker pace with what the state needs, because we're here to advance Kentucky, and that's what our board wants us to do. Well, the board retreat in fall of 2023, after they took time to absorb what I think is a comprehensive view of the landscape in higher education. They determined what kind of retreat they wanted, people they wanted to hear from. They broke into small groups. I say the conclusion of that retreat was the do more, be more for Kentucky. So there were sort of 5 mores that they asked us to focus on. More graduates, not just haphazardly, but smart growth in alignment with the jobs needed in the state. More readiness. Given the changing landscape in our society, the board thought that core curriculum, the foundational courses that everyone takes, we hadn't looked at those in over a decade. It would be important to take a fresh look. Then there was more partnerships. So much of what we've been able to accomplish over the last decade has been because we found good partners who could do things we didn't, could bring capacity, capabilities, competencies we didn't necessarily have, but they shared our values, and that was able to accelerate what we did. The fourth was more recruitment and retention, and that's really about our employees, our workforce. It's the recognition that over the decades, we have sort of different generations with different needs and different family makeups. And their benefit packages, right now, it's one size fits all. Through a lot of interaction, could we modify those, giving individuals choices? And then the last one is more responsiveness. And that was to take a look at those external regulations that influence what we do, and internally, what are the guideposts for us? And they thought we need to take a fresh look, because that's sort of an enabling enterprise. You know, what can we do to honor shared governance, but at the same time, advance Kentucky in everything we do? I'm always inspired when I listen to faculty, staff, and students. We did it intentionally and intensely this week, over 240 people. My expectations have been wildly exceeded in that they're pushing my thinking. And I look forward, after some more listening, to putting together what I think would be a next step forward. But these voices, people who are on the front lines, people in their roles, are essential to everything we do at the University of Kentucky in education, research, service, and care. That's who I've been listening to. It's been very refreshing. Well, to listen, you can learn, and I've learned a lot. And I think what was most powerful in our last conversation on late Friday afternoon is when one of our staff members mentioned to me, you know, what's important is your role, not your class. And it reminded me of what I'd heard throughout the few days, that the essentiality of having those individuals who have expertise and who side by side and work to make certain the policies that we develop and implement have a say at the table is important. I also see the possibilities of streamlining what we do. It's not fewer people, it's more people with rich ideas that I think can accelerate what we do for Kentucky.
From faculty?
Not at all. Our faculty honor what is sacred in a classroom, which is academic freedom. Our board, nor anyone in administration, wants to do anything to undermine that critical role. It is the heartbeat of a university. At the conclusion of every day, where we've had these robust discussions, and I so appreciate the candor and honesty that is easy to see, my thinking evolves. And I hope when I further engage the campus, our thinking will evolve, and that we can honestly look anew at some of the things that have been around for decades. Yeah, I like to summarize it into sort of four groupings. First, more voices. Staff in particular are not represented in the University Senate. Day to day, on the front lines, they have insights, expertise. I think they said, why not our voices? Students make up a small fraction. Many of the things that we do are for them, in service to them. They'd like to be able to express themselves more clearly. More clarity. People shared with me that sometimes we get so focused on a long set of checklists and detailed processes that some people call tedious, that we miss the forest for the trees. That the bigger issues where we should more fully engage our campus, those transformative issues where this kind of rich feedback in a systematic, organized, coordinated way could better inform what we do, would be a good use of our time. I heard, with good examples, how we could trust one another at the local level, that it's not necessary to bring up all the way through all the Senate committees and to the Senate Council and to the Senate some of the things where it doesn't involve other colleges. There are lots of accrediting bodies that have an even more rigorous oversight and control over what those colleges should be doing and can do. And can we, as I think we've seen at other universities, trust one another, other faculty, and other units that don't involve another college? Can we entrust them to manage their affairs? And lastly, more understanding. I recognize, always well-intended, this university probably has 6 inches thick when you print it out of GRs and ARs. The University Senate over time has grown its bylaws to over 300 pages. They are not searchable. And some people told me they didn't even know those existed. We need to make this more user-friendly. We're here to inspire people, give them the guidelines and guideposts within which they could operate. I feel like we could make it easier. In the resolution that the board passed, they directed me to engage the campus. It is my expectation that whatever we decide to do, those recommendations would be presented to the campus by the end of March. We would get additional feedback that we would then take forward to the board at its next meeting. Our Board of Trustees has asked us to advance Kentucky in everything that we do. They know there is no time to waste. If we are to be a healthier, wealthier, and wiser Kentucky, we have to take a look at things that would live up to that promise we have made to our citizens in the Commonwealth. I said during the pandemic that history would look back on us and would in some ways ask the question, did we care? And I think we certainly did then. And through the heartfelt conversations, thoughtful conversations we've had, I can say again, the University of Kentucky cares. Care about our students, the patients that turn to us for healing and hope, all of those out in the 120 extension offices. It's turned out to be a very gratifying, heartwarming experience.